All right, let's see. We are now live. Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Harris, owner and CEO of Nursepreneurs. We don't mess around with time. It is 2 o'clock on the dot. So very excited to be here. I'm here with Arjun and Sarah. They're part of the leadership team here at Nursepreneurs. If you guys want to say hello.
Hello.
So Arjun is operations and Sarah is sales and marketing. So hi, Sarah.
Hi, everyone.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and
Hi,
get started.
Katie.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to present, Arjun. What I would say is, when I start presenting, I can't see any comments. So if comments pop up, just let me know, and we'll take it from there.
Will do.
All right, let's do entire screen. Whoops. All right, there we go. Slideshow. All right, so we're talking about body composition analysis today, and how you can use it to increase client touch points and revenue. Body composition can lead to large profits simply by proving your services are needed and they actually work. And I'm going to talk about how I've been using body composition and how it came up that I thought I needed it. So one of the first things that we bought, so I have a wellness clinic. It's a Philly Wellness Center right here in Philadelphia. And we do body contouring. It was one of the first machines that I purchased and love it. Absolutely love it. And people love it. It's been like one of our best sellers. And I didn't even want to get into body contouring, but it's what people wanted. And now that I have it, I'm super excited about it. But the problem is, everybody will teach you in body contouring that you have to take measurements, right? And, so you take the measurements and you have like a tape like this, a tape measure, and it's really awkward. And I've had this done to me as well, because I went for a body contouring session and they, strip you down to your bra and underwears, which is, uncomfortable enough. But then they have this measuring tape. And, she's like, I want to make sure it's really accurate. So she's using like one of those surgical marking pens that mark up your body, and it doesn't come off for like a week. And she's measuring the different areas so that when we're done, she can show me the progress that was made. But I'll tell you this, first of all, this added an additional like 30 minutes to it. And even when she did it at the end, and having done this myself to other people, I get it. There's always that thought of, I think she's pulling the tape measure a little bit more tightly after than she did before, right? And there's no way to know for sure. Or maybe it's at a slightly different angle. So she can say, oh, look, you lost an inch. And so there's always that kind of underlying, are they cheating me? Are they lying? And it might be on the part of whoever's doing this, it's just an honest mistake and they're not trying to cheat you or anything. And that's absolutely, but that thought is there, it's present. And it's a serious, because then people are like, did this really work? Then you get the people that are like, oh, I'm going to wait and see if it works afterwards instead of buying a package. And it causes all kinds of issues. So if you work in wellness, body composition really is the rage. And there's a lot of reasons why. And I want to talk to you about why it's the rage and what you can do with it. So this is relevant to anyone here who has a business or thinking of starting a business in the healthcare space, fitness space, med spa space. It works even if you're in rehab, functional medicine, all of these different chiropractors. There's probably no business where this wouldn't be a complement to it, is in the health space anyway. So the goal here is to understand how body composition analysis can be used to prove the value of your services and add to the bottom line profit. So you can actually prove that your body contouring services work, which is really nice. And that's one of the things that I wanted specifically for a body composition. And then 2, you can show the results of, so we do semaglutide too, we do medical weight loss, and you can show what's happening. Now, we all know that anybody on any diet, anywhere, semaglutide doesn't cause you to lose muscle weight. What causes you to lose muscle is caloric restriction and not taking in enough protein. That's what causes muscle wasting. But you use body composition to show them that, hey, this isn't a good thing. Like, we don't want to be losing muscle. as you're losing weight, you want to be bulking up on muscle. And, you can show them exactly the progress that they're making and if they're going the right way or not going the right way. Because if the average person on a diet loses, it doesn't matter what diet form it is, but they lose 20 to 30% muscle. This is really bad, guys. So you can use body composition to help people stay on the right path. Now, the other way that we use it is as a lead generator. We actually, we have, and I'll show it to you in a second, but we have one of those spinny wheels, that you can spin. It's real colorful, and we put it outside, and you can get free body analysis. We do free body analysis anyway, but it gets people in the store. I even kind of leverage my 11-year-old to, get people to come into the store as well, which is, I guess, it's a shameful plug for the store, but whatever, he needs a summer job. And then it can also show that you're committed to holistic health and not just selling medications. Because when you're really working with somebody on their body composition and their body circumference, they can see the progress, and that is the most important thing. So if you're selling any type of wellness services at all, then body composition will fit into that business model. I'm Katie Harris. For those of you who don't know me, I'm owner and CEO of Nursepreneurs, which is a group of nurses that are interested in business or running their own businesses. And I also started my own business, the Philly Wellness Center, where we specialize in medical weight loss and hormone therapy, and apparently body contouring. So it hasn't been easy. So we do, trying to get lead generation, lead conversion, marketing, sales, all of this stuff is a headache. And we specialize in it at Nursepreneurs, and it's still a headache. So it's never easy, but it is something that you do need to spend a lot of time on. And it's a big part of whether or not your business is going to be successful. Because if you don't market, then you don't get leads. And if you don't get leads, then you can't even talk about conversion. So a big part of what you need to do is to get people physically into your location, into your setting. This is huge, right? And one of the ways that you can do that is going to be with body composition. So, because if you build it, they may or may not come. And we've seen this again and again. We've had some nurses start up businesses and they are swamped from day one, right? Like their books are sold out. And then we have some nurses that start a business and, 6 months into it, they're like, I don't have a single client. And what is the difference between them? And the difference is marketing, because business is all about who you know or who you're willing to get to know. And you need to really offer them, right, what it is that they want and what do people want. I wasn't originally going into this to sell semaglutide. It happened to be what people wanted. So I had IV therapies and I had hormone therapy, but they're like, yeah, do you sell semaglutide? No, I don't sell semaglutide. And then, it kept happening to the point that I'm like, okay, fine, let's look into semaglutide and see what all the craze is about this and if I'm in alignment with it. And it turns out it's a pretty amazing hormone. And I don't want to get too much into that, but it actually fits right in with the hormone therapy that we're doing. It's what my paying audience wanted. So now I can get them into the clinic for the semaglutide and at the same time do the body composition analysis. And it opens up a whole nother conversation, which is what we're going to talk about. So how body composition analysis fits into your business. And then I want to compare a couple different machines that are out there, because I looked at the main competitors that are out there, and then I'll show you the one that I bought. All right, so we're going to discuss 3 different things during this webinar. The first thing we're going to do is talk about how you can use the body composition as a lead generation and how to differentiate yourself from the competition. Number 2, we're going to talk about 4 different machines that are on the market and look at in depth of which one we chose and why we chose that one. And then number 3, it is why we have chose that machine. All right, so for lead generation, this is our big spinny wheel that you can see. You can spin to win, which is super fun. And you can see the free body composition. We normally do free body composition anyway, but it was, it's a nice feature on the wheel. So they can spin again, they can get free body composition, but it also has some of the other services that we offer on there. Now we went to an expo, the IBC Blue Cross and Blue Shield they had Independence Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They had a running event, and there were 40,000 people who had to come to the expo center to pick up their packet in order to participate in the run. So we had a booth there just kind of advertising our stuff. And the one thing that everybody was interested in was body composition. They all wanted body composition. I mean, it was crazy, right? It was just, it's easy. It tells you so much information, and all we did was have a QR code, and we got tons and tons of emails. So those are leads, right? You need leads to in order to generate lead conversion in order to make sales, right? So we were able to get lots of people on our email list just by having a flyer. I mean, that simple. I didn't bring the machine in. It was, it was just a little bit too cumbersome, and it was just me. So I didn't have the ability to bring the machine physically in. So I just had this flyer, and the flyer was more than enough. So the other thing that we do is we offer this to anybody who's walking past. And it's super easy to offer this. Because it literally takes less than a minute. The whole thing takes less than a minute, and people are excited. So, but once they get the report, they're starting to ask about other services. So, and the other thing that it does after body contouring is prove that value of that service. So when they come in for the free body composition, we walk them through their report that they get, which I'll show you what we use for a report, but we walk them through the report. And then we have like a little package already built in with different price points. So if they're, if they have a lot of visceral fat, it's like, oh, visceral fat, it's really dangerous. And it is, right? Like, I'm not, trying to trick people into buying stuff. It's like visceral fat is one of the worst things that you can have. It's fat around the organs. It causes fatty liver disease, which degenerates, and it causes insulin resistance, and you get fatty muscle. It is like the beginning of the end when you have extensive visceral fat. So when somebody has visceral fat and they'll say, oh, what about lipo? And it's like, no, you don't want lipo. Lipo is subcutaneous fat. The best thing for this is a semaglutide. So, we get them on a semaglutide campaign, and then they see other stuff that we have, and we start talking about all the other options that we have to offer them. Or maybe we start light and just, lipo B12 or something, those types of shots. So this is some of the information that you get off of body composition. So the inorganic salts will tell you bone density, right? Protein, the amount of protein per kilogram. In this particular person, this is on the lower side. So this person was on semaglutide, right? And they're losing muscle. We can see that they're losing muscle because you can also see over time with the various different machines, you can see the progress that somebody's making. And if they're going the wrong direction, it's like, well, we need to back it up, and we need to start adding protein powers, or you need to eat a chicken a day or something. Like we need to build up this, but really what they need to do is strength train. So if you're partnered, let's say there's a gym next to wherever you're working, partner with those people, physical trainers. I mean, this is a great way, a nutritionist, it's a great way to collaborate with other businesses, because you're getting these numbers, you're seeing this, and this needs to be addressed. If this doesn't get addressed, you can walk them down the path of what happens when you lose muscle and strength. I mean, you become very frail very quickly. So BMI, that doesn't really tell you much anyway, but body fat percentage, people don't like this number, especially when it's high like that. Metabolic age, this person, it was actually in their 40s, and their metabolic age is 57. Nobody likes that number either. Waist to hip ratio, this is high. There's something else to talk about, because when your waist to hip ratio is high, you are looking at metabolic syndrome, you're looking at insulin resistance, you're looking at diabetes on the horizon. And when people see these numbers, they become motivated very quickly to do something about it. And that's where you need to step in with an offer right at this point. You're not selling, you are offering a solution, and there's a huge difference. This ICW and ECW, this is intracellular and extracellular water. And, this is just, this person is underhydrated. All right. So like I said, we use it for the body contouring because it allows us that touch-free body composition type of look, right? So, if you look like the person on the left, maybe you're walking around naked all the time and it's not that big of a deal. But I personally don't like being exposed. I don't like people touching me like this. It's weird and awkward. And there's also that underlying feeling that somehow they're either not pulling as tightly before so that they can pull more tightly afterwards, and especially those places that guarantee like 2 inches to come off, and they're like, oh look, you lost 2 inches, and it's kind of like, well, did I lose 2 inches? Because if you don't feel it and you don't see it, then it becomes a trust issue. And once you establish any type of questionable trust, it's not good. So the body contouring, the body circumference of the machine takes all of that away, right? The machine's not making up numbers to make you feel better, right? Or it's not making up numbers to make the body contouring look better. It is what it is. And when when you have a before picture and the body circumference is done, and then you get your procedure done and you come out and you're in the same clothes and you get it done and you can see a very distinct difference in different areas of the body, then that is absolute proof. And people are motivated and they're like, yeah, let's sign up for more sessions. So it's no longer, let me see how this works. And you're like, really? Like, see how what work? What are you going to see in the next week or so? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So they're not, when you get that type of objection, it's because they don't believe that it did anything. So you need an objective way to prove, like, even if you did the body measurements, they don't believe that maybe they don't think you did it on purpose, but somehow they think that the numbers are off, and you're trying to skew it towards making it look like they lost weight when they didn't. So this is, basically what you would get is like body circumference typically covers neck, arm, chest, high waist, mid waist, low waist, hip line. They do the thighs, the calf circumference, and you get very specific numbers. So when you do this, repeat it afterwards, right? You can see these numbers and they'll be on one side. You can see up to, in the brand that we got, you can see it up to 6 different points, and you can compare those, which is really, really nice. And like I said, with weight loss management, this is almost a must. Like if you're doing weight loss, it's almost negligent not to monitor their muscle loss, their metabolic rate, to help them adhere to exercise plans. Because if you're doing weight loss, they have to do strength training. It's like a non-negotiable with this, because it's not, like I said, it's not the semaglutide that causes muscle loss. It's lack of protein and malnourishment that causes muscle loss. So you have to be very, very careful in these patients. I don't care if you're using semaglutide or pentenamine or tirzepatide or whatever tide, or they're on the South Beach diet. It doesn't matter. You have to follow their muscle, the quality of their musculature, and make sure that they're not losing muscle instead of fat, because that is like the worst thing that could happen. You need muscle. Services that sell nicely with body composition, weight loss, like I said, IV hydration and shots, really helpful, because they can see, it does measure water, right? The hormone therapy is really nice, because this too is where people, when you start somebody on testosterone, let's say, testosterone builds muscle, right? You can't build muscle without testosterone, which is why, this really goes nicely. If somebody's like under muscled, the answer is testosterone. Let's get you on some testosterone to build up this muscle. But muscle carries water, right? Which is actually a good thing. But when somebody's trying to lose weight and they're gaining muscle, they might lose 5 pounds of fat, but gain 6 pounds of muscle, or 5 pounds of muscle and a pound of water, right? Like it's a good thing, right? But they'll see it as I gained weight if they're just going by the scale. And that might not be the case. It could be they've lost 5 pounds of fat, and that's amazing. And they're starting to look better and their clothes are feeling better, but they've gained the muscle and the water weight, which offset that kind of like celebratory moment. So body composition will show that to you. So I've had people tell me on semaglutide, they'll say, oh, I didn't lose any weight whatsoever. And I'm like, well, let's come in, let's take a look at the body composition. And sure enough, it's like, yeah, you lost, a pound on the scale, but look how nicely your muscle has come up, and your visceral fat numbers have gone down. That's a huge, huge win. And you can't do that unless you have body composition. You can also use this in coaching and nutrition, supplements, body contouring, personal training. You don't have to own all of these things. You don't have to offer all of these things. What's really, really nice is that you can pair up with somebody who owns this type of business in your area. I mean, it's so much easier to work collaboratively and synergistically with other businesses, because it's like you pool your marketing resources together and not one person is solely responsible. So if you do weight loss and the guy down the street does personal training, you pair up, right? And you have the machine and they're coming into your clinic and they get to see all the different great things that you do. And, this is kind of a sidebar, but in your clinic, you should have before and after pictures and TVs and flyers and all kinds of stuff that people can see all the stuff that you do. So getting them into the clinic is a huge, huge bonus, because you want them to naturally be curious about what you have. Because there's nothing more frustrating than calling somebody up and like, we offer this and we offer this and we offer this, and you sound like a salesperson. Whereas if they come into the clinic and they're like, oh, you offer this and you offer this and you offer this, it's a much, much different experience. So it's really, really great to get people to come in. So you can use it in IV hydration businesses, wellness businesses like the one I have, med spas, rehabs, fitness sports, nutritional stores, health or any type of health or fitness. I mean, this list could go on for a while. All right, so let's look at some of the different models that they have. The gold standard out there is going to be your DEXA scan or hydrostatic weighing. All right, now this is not accessible to small business. Nobody's going to go out and buy a DEXA scan. That's probably like $100,000. And hydrostatic weighing is, you have to be submerged in water and then you measure, the weight versus the weight of the water. And that is not accessible to small businesses. So the other options, these are 4 different options that we have that I've noticed, and I want to walk through the 4 of these. I've talked to all 4 of these, so I'm going to talk about the couple that we started with. Now, InBody was the first one that I came across. So when I started looking up body composition, actually I was looking for body circumference, and InBody has such amazing SEO that no matter what you put in, InBody comes up. So, this was the first company that I started with, and it looked really, really interesting. And I was really quite fascinated by it. And I'm like, oh, look at these reports. But then I'm like looking at these reports and I'm like, look at this report. Like, it's really expensive. I don't even know what half of this stuff is. And they have a huge university where you can go online and learn all about it and spend the next 100 hours learning about what all these numbers mean. But then the other thing that I was not happy about was that there was no body circumference. So it's body composition only, right? And that's what it's for. It's like best in class for body composition, but it didn't have body circumference. And because we did body contouring, that was extremely important to me. So if I were to buy this machine, which looks amazing, it is bioimpedance, which means it's an electrical current or frequency that goes through the body, and it can read like muscle, water, fat. But this machine, this is from their website. So $511 a month over 63 months. This is a $32,000 machine. This is out of my price range, guys. Like, this was not something that was in the cards. So it's out of the price range, and worse yet, I still needed a body circumference machine. So I'd have to buy another machine to do the body circumference. So this, even though I liked the InBody and I thought it looked like a great machine and it's portable and you can take it to, expos and fairs and that'd be super fun, it just didn't serve the purpose that I wanted. So this is as far as I got with InBody, was this number. It was just too high. Now they do have lower numbers, lesser models where they have fewer things for a smaller price, but they still, none of them have body circumference. So then I found Fit 3D, and Fit 3D does have body circumference, and that was nice. But one of the problems I had with Fit 3D was I didn't like how big and bulky it was. So they really are proud of, their machine, and then it's got these handles and you hold on to the handles. But the main problem for me was that it didn't have as much information on all of the body circumference that I wanted, or not body circumference, the body composition. And then the other thing I didn't like was the software cost. So in addition to the retail price of $11,000, they wanted $100 per month for the software cost. Plus, it was going to take 8 weeks for them to deliver, and it was just too big for my space. I've got a relatively small space. I'm in, a city. The offices aren't that big. The rooms are small. So where on earth am I going to put this thing was the initial problem. And so this quickly became a no, particularly because of the software cost. That's an extra $1,200 a year. And that's a lot. I'm tired of software cost. I don't want to spend money on software cost, and I didn't understand why that was necessary. So then I found Staiku, and Staiku, one of the things I did like about Staiku is that this unit is portable, right? Like they actually show somebody with the Staiku in their backpack and they're walking around, and I had this vision. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to all these expos and, I'll set up my Staiku and that'll be that. And then it'll be great. So the charts were okay. The body composition, it goes over the fat and lean muscle, which is, really what I wanted and what I understand with body composition. The problem I had with them was, it was $7,000. I think that was a special deal they were running. Maybe they run it every month because it was down from it was close to 10,000, and then it was on sale, whatever, for 7,000. But they have these two options. You can have the fitness option or you can have the health option. And the fitness option was body circumference, and the health option was the body composition. Okay. And the body composition, is the lean muscle, the water, that kind of stuff. And each one was $99 per month. So in order to have both, it was $199 a month. Now that's, I wasn't happy at $100 a month, and now I'm really unhappy at $200 a month, because now we're talking about close to an extra $2,500 a year, which means that I could buy a new machine every, couple of years. And I don't want to buy a new machine, and I want to spend $200 a month. I just want a machine that does the two things that I want. So that's where I found Visbody. And their price point was at around $15K, and we were able to bring them down. And I'll talk to you about what we were able to bring them down to and what that means for you. So this has no monthly software cost. So it was huge for me. And it had the body circumference and it had body composition. So what I want to do is walk you through the Visbody, because this is the one that we ended up going for. And you can see how sleek it is. It is that tower. It's heavy. I was able to, I had one other person help me put this together, but I could have done this by myself. It's not that heavy that one person can't handle it, but it's way easier to have two people set this up, the tower and that platform. So the platform is maybe, 25 pounds. The tower is more like 40 pounds. So, that does get a little heavy, and that turnstile is pretty light. Maybe it's 10 pounds. And it doesn't take up that much space. So we were able to put this in a bathroom, right? It doesn't take up a whole lot of space. It's sleek, and it's in the bathroom. It's actually nice because people can take off their clothes, and, it's a touch screen, and it has, I'll show you all the things that it has. So the product core to this is, basically it's got 4 band frequencies. So the woman is standing on um, a metal feet, basically, and it is impedance analysis. So there's 4 band frequencies that go through the body, and it measures bone, the inorganic salts. It measures muscle. It measures fat, and it measures muscle, fat, and bone, and water. That's what I'm looking for, water. Okay, so, and it also does posture assessment. And I have to say, when I did my posture assessment, I was like, ooh, I got some work to do. It has 14 components to the body composition analysis, which is really nice and manageable. It gives you recommendations. It also does shoulder function. So those of you, particularly chiropractors, that would be interested in this might be interested in that shoulder function. And it uses gesture and posture recognition. So when you're standing on the turnstile, the machine will ask you, do you want to do body circumference? And you can raise your hand up, and it will recognize that gesture that, yes, you want to move forward, right? And it moves on to the next option. Do you want to do body circumference? Do you want to do posture? Do you want to do a shoulder analysis? And you can use gestures, and the machine will recognize that. It has, those buttons on the side. So the top one is just an on-off button, and the other ones can help, but it is actually a touch screen. So I don't even use the buttons on the side other than to turn it off. And then the turntable is automatic. It just, once the machine's ready, it'll turn around, and it takes like 32 seconds for it to do a whole revolution. So it's a high quality 3D intelligent body measurement device designed for medicine, fitness, nutrition, and beauty. It creates millimeter accuracy. All right. So they've compared this to the DEXA scan, and it is so close to the DEXA scan, like the couple percentages that it could potentially be off, and this is only in certain cases, are not clinically relevant. Okay, so you don't have to go out and buy a DEXA scan for $100,000 and radiate people, because DEXA is radiation. There is no radiation in bioelectroimpedance, right? This is, you could do this all day, every day, and not submit yourself to any type of radiation poisoning, right? So it can take 36 different body measurements, such as body composition, circumference, shape, postures, and tracks change, and generates accurate, precise body analysis reports. These are some of the core functions, and I can absolutely send these to you. This is on the left, this is competition, and on the right, this is what Visbody does. And it's the only machine that does bulk density analysis and the bioelectroimpedance analysis, which is huge. This is a big deal, and it's the only machine that does these, and it allows for more accurate data coming in, right? So it's, again, to the millimeter in accuracy because of this technology that they're using. They use 4 different frequencies, which helps for the machine to understand the frequencies that go through the body. So when you're standing on the electrodes, on your bare feet, there's these frequencies that are going through the body, and they're measuring, am I going through bone? Am I going through fat? Am I going through water? Am I going through muscle? And that's how it comes up with the different body composition. And it'll tell you your lean body mass, muscle mass, body fat, skeletal muscle content, and all of these really wonderful things. And then it does this postural assessment and the circumference of the various different parts of the body from the neck down to the calf, which is amazing. So it's cloud storage, so you don't have to worry about, not having enough storage or paying for storage. There's none of that kind of stuff, which is really nice. It does have a pretty big screen. It's at 18 inches. It's a single high performance camera. It is touch screen, and it does recognize gestures. So this is that idea, like when you're the handles here, this is for when you hold on to it, that grip analysis will help the machine understand as well as the frequency goes through the electrodes in the hands and the feet. It measures different frequencies. And like I said, there's 4 different frequencies. And you don't have to get all nerdy into the science and the data. It's just for those of you that are a little bit nerdy about it, we can talk more extensively about this, but just know that this is the world's first BIA and bulk density fusion technology. Nobody else has this, and it makes it very, very accurate in what it's delivering. And again, with millimeter precision. So it's medical grade body composition measurements, aid analysis recommendations, and very comprehensive data. And these are the electrodes basically. So you stand on these, and you need to be in your bare feet. I had my assistant was helping somebody, and she's like, "We keep getting errors," and I go in and I'm like, "Oh, it's because she's wearing socks. You got to take the socks off. Like it has to be skin to electrode." But so simple. I mean, my 11-year-old can do it all by himself. So it's super simple. These are the different types of forms you get. So this first one, this body composition report, you get the composition overview, you get the muscle fat analysis, and obesity analysis, which is really, really helpful when you're talking to somebody about potentially starting semaglutide. And you're like, look, this graph is showing you that your visceral fat is on the upper limits of where you need to be, and your muscle is here. So we need to get the fat down, the muscle up. And this is your posture report, right? So it shows you different views and how you're looking. And this down here explains basically if you have a tilt of the head, the shoulders, of the hips, and then there's some recommendations over here of what to do about it. The first thing that I thought about when I was doing this is, oh my God, I need a strength trainer who specializes in posture, right? This is the person I got to find. So now, I've been Googling for strength trainers that specialize in posture because that's what I need. Now, this is the mobile version. So this is the online desk version. When you sign into the dashboard, this is what you get. You can send the report directly off to the client. You can email it to them, no problem. But they can scan. There's usually under the score here, this is your body score out of 100. There's a QR code here. And if you scan that, then you get all of this information on the phone, which is really, really nice. So you can interact again, like it's either touch screen, you can use the buttons on the side, which I've never used actually, or you can gesture to move to the next screen. So you get 3 complete physical test results sheets. You can, again, print them out. You can download them as a PDF, put them up into somebody's chart, like your EMR, and it'll track up to 6 data changes to generate an accurate line graph so you can visualize those changes. So this is the highlighted body composition, muscle fat, segmental muscle. So that's the segmental muscle and segmental fat are these graphics over here. And it will tell you if you're over or under, right? Like if you're under muscled, it'll say, your arms are under, which means you really need to be doing some strength training in the upper body, right? Or the lower body is, I don't know if you can be over muscled, but if it's, let's say the left side is worse than the right side, right? Maybe you have a predominance for one area, or maybe your leg is atrophied from non-use, or maybe it was in a cast or something. And you can see the changes in the different limbs, which is really nice. The body fat percentage is really good too. That one's really gets people, right? Like nobody likes to hear they're 50% fat or, 60% fat, which we've seen for sure. Now, the circumference is really, really helpful with body contouring. We threw our measurement tape out. It sucked anyway. It just, it broke and it didn't even get around completely some of the people, which is embarrassing, right? It's embarrassing for us. It's embarrassing for them, like when your tape measure doesn't make it all the way around. So this eliminates that completely. It eliminates the time to do it. Again, like I had this done to myself, and my admin easily added an additional 30 minutes. Like it wasted 30 minutes of chair time. And we all know like chair time is essential. This is so important. You need to move people in and out as quickly as possible. Plus nobody likes to stand there being exposed while you're like drawing on them and all that kind of stuff. Plus they don't believe you anyway. So This is really nice. It takes 32 seconds, like literally 32 seconds. Have them put their robe back on, walk them to the treatment room. When the treatment's done, have them, they got to change anyway. It's like, all right, we'll just jump up on the turnstile, redo your body circumference, and we'll print out your results and show you how it did. And I'm telling you, when you print out those results and you can show the before and after of body contouring, the next question is, what packages do you have? Like, how much is, a package of 5 or 6 or whatever? Before body contour, like body circumference, the question was, oh, well, maybe I'll call you next week after I see how this does. And that is a big fat no, I don't believe you. And this didn't work. All right. That's the difference between, having somebody do circumference and not. And having that objective circumference, that's really, really important. So postural assessment, it's a 2-dimensional posture diagram, and it does the head tilt, head forward, and high and low shoulders. I mean, this is really important because strength training is so important to health, and posture is so important to health. And, I do have a lot of studies and information on posture and how it's related to health. We also do metabolic breath analysis. We do it in combination with the body composition, and breath is completely dependent on your posture, right? And we can see the difference. I mean, you don't have to go out and buy metabolic breath analysis. Maybe partner with somebody, but it's amazing. Like, once you show them that their posture needs to be corrected, and it's impacting heart, lung, and cellular health, which can be proven by metabolic analysis with breath analysis, it hits home. It hits home, and people are like, yeah, I need to do something. And this is really, really important. All right, shoulder function. It will do left shoulder, right shoulder. I have this in the bathroom. We don't do sports, so I don't really use this feature of it, but it is there. And, I actually don't have enough room for this because the person needs to be able to lift their hand up completely to the right. I'd have to rearrange things in order to use this function, but it's there. And if this is important to your business, this could be a nice way, especially if you're doing pain or pain management. You're working with athletes of any type. This can be a really nice addition, and it's just included, right? So you use it if you need it. If you don't need it, it's still there. So that is the machine. Those are the dimensions of the machine. I think the total weight of the machine, all 3 pieces, there are only 3 pieces plus the mat. It's about probably about 70 to 80 pounds in total. And then each piece, obviously, if the tower is maybe 40 pounds, 45 pounds. But you can see, so the tower is 66 inches and the whole length here is 72 inches. The pad shows you how much width you need on this area. So this is only 26 inches, which is why we're able to put this in our bathroom area. Your bathroom might not be quite that big to accommodate this, but it's a small footprint. It's a very small footprint, and it's movable. I mean, it's very easy to move this machine to the next location. And it actually has wheels on the back, so you can tilt the whole machine. It will move on the wheels, and you can move it that way, so you don't have to pick it up. All right, so that's Visbody. There's a whole lot more to this, and I want to introduce you to the machine I bought, the deal that we got for us and for you. So if you're interested in body composition, you've been looking, you've been thinking about it, you've been wondering, is this something that I should do? This is body composition, body circumference, and posture analysis, plus you get the bonus of shoulder function analysis. So it's all 4 things in one machine, whereas most other machines are maybe 2 of these things. So like InBody's just body composition. The other 2 are body composition and body circumference, but they had, software cost, and none of them have posture analysis. None of them have shoulder function. So this will, body composition and Visbody in particular will help you with lead generation, I can't tell you how many times people come in and they're like, oh, what is this machine in the bathroom? Or, like if we're handing out flyers, hey, just come on in and, jump on our body composition machine. People love it. They absolutely love this. It will help you retain clients because, like I said, if you're doing body contouring, there is no trust factor anymore. It's like the machine's not trying to cheat them. The machine's not set up to lie and try and make them feel better or, make your services look better. It is what it is. It's a camera and you have no control over it. So it will prove that your services are working and people will trust the results that the machine give them. And it's just best in market. So it's unlike other products because it's the only one in the world that has the bio impedance and the bulk density, plus the circumference, plus the posture analysis, plus the shoulder functioning, and no monthly fees. So, you really can't beat that. So the Visbody machine itself, 18 medical grade measurements with the bulk density and BIA, human body reengineering with AI vision, optical 3D reconstruction, body shape, posture, big data. That's what this was all based on. This company's been around for years, since like 2009, I believe, is when they started. They're pretty big in Europe, Asia, and South America, and just coming to the United States now. So you'll see a handful of Visbody machines around, but you're going to start seeing a lot more. It'll also do segmental body constitution. And like I said, people love it. And you can see here on the left, the girl is, she's holding on, she's gripping, and it's measuring the electro impedance analysis is measuring her muscle, water, fat, and bone. And this is body circumference. So you can see how his hands are out. This allows an accurate assessment from, basically the neck down to the calves. And he's spinning around. This takes a whole 32 seconds. And the posture analysis will show, neck health, shoulder health, pelvis health, knee health, leg health. This is a big deal. This is that she's doing. She's either doing a gesture analysis or she's doing the shoulder function analysis right here. So there's a dashboard, there's an online dashboard, there's also a mobile dashboard. So this is the online dashboard. Once you've connected, somebody's done a report, then you can review the report right from here. And once you go into review report, you can send it. You can either send it via email straight to the person. You can download it, you can print it, and this will stay in the system. So this is really, really nice. It's a one-click send to the client. On the machine, there's also a QR code. So if they want to access it immediately, all they have to do is scan the QR code on the machine. And it just allows for easy access to that interactive report, which is really, really nice. The reports break it down, the body composition report. It'll give you a body score. Your QR code will be right here as well, so they can always access it on mobile. There's body composition overview, muscle fat analysis, obesity, metabolism. This will also tell you your metabolic age, which is if all your scores are off, your metabolic age is going to be way higher than you're going to like it. But it's a nice wake-up call. All right. It's better to know than not to know. So you can make the changes that you need to make. And this would be your body composition history. So you can see trends over time, body score, body analysis. The delivery. So the other thing I didn't like about the other companies was an 8 to 12 delivery time period. So this, the delivery is actually included, except if you're in Alaska and Hawaii, there is additional fee. It's not straightforward at all. But for the continental US, we are including delivery in the price point. The delivery time is about 10 days, so somewhere between 1 and 2 weeks. Setup is quick and simple. You can see here in this gym, basically the turnstile is connected to the back of the machine. The back of the machine is connected to 110 volt, which is US voltage, and then Wi-Fi. So for the Wi-Fi, it doesn't have wireless Wi-Fi. You do need a Wi-Fi extender. So this is something that you would need to purchase. And this is what I bought, and it works perfectly. So my Wi-Fi is like 3 rooms over. I connected the TP link and then connected this to the machine, and it works beautifully. There's no issue. Literally, this cost me $16. Got it the next day, and the machine worked right away. So the machine comes in 3 pieces. You just set them up. You have the tower, the base, the turnstile. You connect it to Wi-Fi, and your first client can jump on the machine, and you can start making money literally within an hour of setting this whole thing up. I mean, the turnstile, the whole thing took us less than an hour to set up. All right. Then, the one problem I had when I first started was like, oh my God, what does all this stuff mean? What does it mean if somebody's extracellular water is low or if it's high? What do I do? How do I manage this? So we've interpreted a lot of the values in body composition so that you can, in layman's term, tell your clients why they're important, why they need to know. Visceral fat means you got fat around your organs and, blah, blah, blah. Your posture, you have this anterior tilt. This is what it means, and this is what you need to do. So they're quick videos so that you can run through them pretty quickly and explain the report to the clients. They're motivated, right? Like, marketing is nothing but education. You need to educate people and give them a way to purchase the solution. And that's what this course does. So it's a short, easy course. It's not like 500 hours of content. It's just, what do you need to know to move forward? So we talk about principles of body composition, understanding the results, body shape evaluation, the circumference analysis, the posture report, waist to hip ratio, really, really important. When that starts creeping up, you need to fix it. Like, it needs to be addressed because you are on a path not only to metabolic disease, but diabetes. You're on a bad path when your waist to hip ratio starts going up. So this is something that you really need to hit home hard with your clients, and we talk about that. So we also wanted to deliver like flyers. So, I mean, this is a super basic flyer. It's kind of ugly too, but our team is creating new flyers that we have in Canva. So you can tweak it and add your own stuff to it. But people love body composition analysis. It's fast, it's informative, it's so easy to pull people in. I mean, who doesn't have 32 seconds, right? You get email signups. If you put a QR code, people will be like, yeah, I'm coming in. I definitely want to get this. And then you can send them information. And you can use template to match your brand. So again, like, we had, a super basic table, and in all this mess, the only thing anybody saw was the body analysis. They're like, oh, tell me about the body analysis. And I was like, really? Because I got all this other stuff, but they all wanted the body analysis, and that's what people want. That's what you go for. So that's what we did. We, we spent a lot of time talking about body analysis and got tons of emails because people like scanning the QR code, adding their email, and then coming in for free body analysis. And even if they didn't come in, we still got their email, and we can send information to them, send them events, send them all kinds of good stuff. And then social media, we put together a 9 grid so that you can announce it to your audience. You can adapt it to your brand inside Canva. It just requires a free Canva account to access and just get more people on your list. So the value here, we have a $17,000 price point if all of this were, if you to pay for each of these individually, and it would totally be worth it. I mean, you saw the in-body was $32,000, so $17,000 is not far off the mark. But Visbody is international, lacks a presence in the US. The machine design and options are superior, literally are superior, not just my opinion, it's fact, to what else is offered in the same price point of what's in there. So for a limited time, we certainly wanted to offer something special, and especially for my audience. So body contouring, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, wellness therapies, they all require transparency and trust, and you can prove the worth of your services with data. Okay, people will believe the machine. So all of this combined, the Visbody dashboard, the shipping, which is the delivery of the machine, is included. The course, the flyer, the social media, $10,900. And we have a link here. This is tinyurl.com/bizcalendar. This just gets you on my calendar so we can talk more about this, because we do have some options, right? Like, so we worked out this special deal. We have some options for financing. So you can use our Cherry plan and get financing through Cherry. If you get the full 10,009, that's 0% APR financing for 12 months, or it's a low APR. I mean, you could be looking at like maybe a couple $100 a month to purchase this completely. If you don't get the full amount in Cherry, we can work out special deals where you finance as much as you can at 0%, because who doesn't like 0% financing? Like, I always finance. If it's 0%, I always take it. Like, I don't care if I have the money or not. I'd rather use the money for something else. I take 0% financing for anytime that is offered. The other one is we have a company called My Abundant, and they're actually the bank, right? Most places just do the lending and then they outsource the money to a bank, and they're kind of like beholden to what the bank says, right? That's why you submit an application, then you wait, and sometimes you get denied. It's because the bank's like, nope. But My Abundant is the bank who's doing the lending. So they finance 99.9%. I don't think I've ever had anybody denied. So if you're having trouble with Cherry or other financing options, we do have, third-party financing. They are the bank. They will finance you. It's not going to be 0%, but they will finance the whole thing, and 99.9% of you will be cleared through My Abundant. And honestly, people just love it. They love it overseas. This is a hot seller in Asia. It's a hot seller in the European Union, down in South America. I mean, it's every time you see Visbody at conferences, they're always crowded. There's always people on these scans because people are curious. They want to know. They want to know their body composition. Everybody thinks they're healthier than they actually are. And this is a nice wake-up call for people. So that is it. That's, basically imagine what body composition analysis can do for your business as a lead magnet, as a way to sell services, and most importantly, to retain clients. Clients will stay with you if you are helping to improve their numbers, regardless of what your services are. A lot of services can help a lot of people make changes in their life. Okay. There's not one single bullet solution for everybody. So there's a lot of people out there that can do a lot of things to help you regain your health. So that is it. That, again, the Visbody, the dashboard is mobile, online, the delivery system, the course, the flyers, the social media, and financing starting out at 0%. We can finance 99% of you. Maybe not, like I said, at 0%, but we can definitely get financing. And this is one thing I didn't have because I worked directly with China on bringing the Visbody over, and there was no financing options. This is something that I'm offering because it's easier for, especially in the American economy. When I was talking to them about this, I'm like, you have to offer financing. Like, people just don't have this kind of money sitting around. And if they do, there's a lot of other uses for it. So it's really, really important, especially for small business, to be able to finance. So that's why I wanted to offer that. And it's just beautiful. You can see it. You almost miss it, right? Because it fits into the setting here. Here's the machine. Here's the machine, over here. I mean, it just fits in perfectly. It's so relatively small, compact, small footprint here, and it just works nicely. All right, guys. So, talk to us about purchasing a Visbody machine for your business to skyrocket leads, retain, and this is a leading body composition machine that offers the main features without subscription fees. You can check out the competitors and stuff, but again, like $100, $200 a month, it adds up fast, and it's not as accurate as the Visbody. They're not nearly as nice, and they're not compact the way the Visbody is. I mean, this was just a superior machine, and I spent a while looking at these machines before I finally bought one. All right, let's see if we have any questions.
We have 5 questions for you, Katie.
Yay, awesome. Oh, it's right on the dot there too. Oh, let me take the screen off because that's annoying. I like to be very timely. All right, and I'm going to put that calendar link up, the tinyurl.com.biz/biz calendar, and you'll just set up an appointment with me, and we'll talk more extensively about your needs and what you're looking for and how this can help you. All right, what do we have?
All right. Do you have access to the chat, or would you like me to read them out?
Oh yeah, actually I do. What type of warranty is included? How does it? Okay, so yeah, we talked about DEXA. It's within 5% of a DEXA scan for sure, and it is a 1-year warranty and software for life. How often do you use? We use these daily. We use the body composition every day. We love it. How much is to charge for a scan? You can. There are some people that charge per scan. I don't like to do that. I like to use it as a lead magnet, but you absolutely can. And there have been successful models of charging per scan. So maybe $50. Maybe you roll people into a membership. But this is one of those things that you can add value to any service by telling them it's a $50 or $75 scan, and you're going to throw it in for free, and we're going to do it every time you come into the clinic, and it just adds to perceived value, and I think that's really, really important. For scanning, so you have to be careful with the robe because the machine is going to it's going to think the robe is part of their body. So we have people strip down to bra and underwear, or if they have tight fitting clothes on, that is fine as well. So people use this at a gym, and people are wearing tight pants and a tight shirt, and that's fine. But I haven't had problems with that, and I was actually kind of surprised because I'll say to people, "Oh, would you like me to step out?" And they're like, "No," and they're just like ripping their clothes off and jumping up on the turnstile, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I guess we're going to do this." But they don't seem to have any problem. Like I have yet to run into somebody that didn't want to take their clothes off to get accurate measurements, because as soon as you say that, it's like they want to give the best. One, they want to pee first because they want to get everything out so that the scale says, the lowest level that they could be. And then they want to take their clothes off so that they get accurate measurements. But again, if they're in spandex or something like that, there's no need to take it. And I don't make people take their clothes off. I don't even ask them to take their clothes off, to be honest, if they're in spandex. But some people come in with like kind of heavy shirts, and that will distort it'll distort the whole image. All right, guys. Yeah, I mean, this was, like I said, it's an amazing machine. Right now, I'm the only distributor in the US, and I know other people are coming, which is great, but they're certainly not going to have this deal. They're going to drive the prices up. So if you're even remotely interested in this, get on my calendar. Let's just talk about it. Even if it's you're not planning to do this for a couple of months, at least I can say, we'll hold this deal for you because it's a really, really good deal. And like I said, when I went through Visbody, it was like, there's no financing. Like I'm eating the cost of financing because it's important. And, I think this is something that is going to be really, really powerful for a wellness business. And, we want you to be able to access this. There is no course. Like I created the course myself, right? Like this is stuff that we want you to have so that you have it, because it is important. And it's frustrating to try and figure out what all the stuff looks like. So I'm really looking forward to speaking with you guys. I am no pressure sales at all. Like we'll just talk, and whatever it is that you want to do. I think I'm terrible at sales. That's why I have a sales team normally. So this is only if you want it. It's right for your business, and this is you're looking for something like this. Then jump on a call with me and let's talk. All right, guys.
Quick question, Katie.
Yes, ma'am.
One last question. I I was curious about the marketing. Do you think that this would help people ultimately save money on marketing, as like if they purchase this? I saw you had flyers in there. That spinning wheel seems super, super fun and engaging. If they put it at a location with heavy traffic, like at a gym, for example, would you say that this would decrease some marketing costs, like help save people some money?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to tell you the reason that I got this spin to win thing. I was at a different convention and somebody had a spinning wheel thing, and they were handing out like a T-shirt or something. I forget what it was. And they had people literally waiting in line for 20 minutes to spin this stupid wheel. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I wanted to scream because I'm like, this is silly. Like, if that's all it takes. And we do have, when we put this outside, we get little kids that are like, Mommy, I want to spin the wheel. I want to spin the wheel. And the parents are forced to stop. Right. And then we have our brochures there because the kid wants to spin the wheel and they don't want to spin it one time. They want to spin it 5 times. And you have the opportunity to now talk to those people. And they weren't going to stop because they were on the way to the playground and that kind of stuff. And if that's your audience, it's amazing. And like to have, you could even entertain the kid and let her spin for another 5 times and you can jump on the turnstile. It literally takes 32 seconds. So.
Okay, that's pretty incredible. That's pretty incredible, I think. And also I think it would make it easy, not trying to run over, but I think it makes it much easier for that lead generation process, because you're really, what I'm hearing is you're converting cold leads into warm leads, because by the time they've spun the wheel, they're eager to get to the QR code, eager to sign up and get whatever access that they need, right? So
yeah. And to be honest, like when I first started, we're like standing outside. And when you're standing outside with a table, have you ever seen those people in the corner and they're like, hey, let's talk. Do you have 30 seconds to talk? And you're like, oh God, don't look at me. Don't look at me. And you're like trying to walk past them. That's how I felt. Like, I felt like people were like, actively trying not to make eye contact with me because they didn't want me to like pull them in. So now the spinny thing does it, or the free body composition. People are like, oh, I'm getting something for free and I'm not worried about you like trying to sell me stuff, because again, we don't sell stuff, we educate. And I think that's really the best thing that you can do. And you're always thinking of marketing about educating and then having a solution that people can buy, because people get upset if you don't have something for them to buy. There's nothing worse than getting your results and they're like, oh, look at that, look at all that visceral fat, good luck with that. Oh dear, Donna, you're having trouble with the calendar. I will double check it and make sure that tinyurl.com/bizcalendar. Let me just double check it.
It's working for me. I also just checked it.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, no, it's working for me too. Phew. All right, I was just able to schedule an appointment. So yes, it's working. So try it again when you get a chance, Donna, or just email me. You can email at katie@katieharris.com and we'll sort something out. All right, guys. It was great talking to everybody. And I hope you have an awesome day.
Thank you.